Hi, I'm Mrs. Gentile, and I'm here with Farah and Casimir, and this is Honors American History 2. And for the project on the 1950s, I have the students create a Wii video in which they take a road trip starting in Bethel Park, ending in Bethel Park, and they need to visit a number of locations. All have to be relevant to the 1950s. Some of these include a Cold War site relevant to the United States during the Cold War time period. Other things include a drive-in movie theater, which was popular for students their age. They have to see a movie from the 1950s. They also have to discuss a significant event from the 1950s. In addition to that, they have to use the new interstate highway system, which was started during President Eisenhower's administration. They have to use Google Maps and collaborate with their peers on finding out the most efficient route for their road trip. And then ultimately they come back to class after we finish working, and we all watch their road trip through the 1950s.
I'm Farah Namas. I'm a sophomore, and like Ms. Gentile said, I was working on a project throughout the 50s, and I think what's really interesting about it is that you learn many just different styles, because it's different than how it is compared now, because if you compared like movies then to now, it's very different. And the wars that happened during the 50s are very interesting. Like the one that I chose was the Vietnam War. What I've researched about it was really interesting, because like I had no idea that this happened during the 50s, and I think it's really cool learning about around the world than just like what happens in the United States, and I think it's really interesting, and I think it's like really cool to like make it in a way where we get to turn it into a video and at the same time knowledge ourselves about information around the world that we find really interesting and cool.
Hi, I'm Casimir Spano, and I found this project really interesting because I got to get closer to the people who I was working with, and I also got to learn a lot about the 50s and how different it was then to now, like the cars and all that, how the cars were actually, certain cars were made out of metal back in the 50s, and now they moved up to like plexiglass or something, and how they were just so much heavier and all that, and it took a lot more to get them moving and going faster now, then than it was now, and just how much we've progressed as a civilization.